Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Today's episode is about driving, particularly in South Florida and Central Florida. I remember watching a video for a Brit expat, and she was saying, when I moved to the United States, the driving was so much better than in the UK. Now, maybe that's true if you're in small town Michigan. I lived in Michigan for a while, and people sort of behave reasonably well on the street. If you're in the fast lane and you're behind somebody, they'll use their direction indicator to move over, let you go past, etc., etc. So maybe in that context, the answer is yes. But when you come to South Florida, Central Florida, and particularly Miami, the world changes entirely. Now, if you think that every other motorist on the road is trying to kill you and you're in rural Michigan, you're probably a wee bit paranoid. If you're in Miami, you're probably about dead right. One thing you've got to remember is down in the south to mid of Florida is lane choice is optional. Now, if you want to be in the fast lane at 40 miles an hour on your phone, you can be. If you decide to overtake somebody, why not slip into the slow lane and accelerate up to about 80 miles an hour? So lane discipline isn't really there. So that's one thing to remember, especially if you're new to the country. When I was new, I wish I had learnt that early on, because I had some very unpleasant near misses, because I assumed that somebody in the slow lane would be travelling slowish and not trying to overtake me. So there you have it. That advice might save your life. The other thing is direction indicators. I think the general attitude is it's none of your business where I'm driving. That's between me, God, and whoever your deity of the day is. So that's one thing. I remember my wife used to work in an office which was adjacent to the office of the police chief in Miami, and not in Miami, but a local municipality in the area. And he advised his wife not to use the direction indicators, because if you use your direction indicators, that is an invitation for somebody to try and cut you off. So it's very hard for somebody like me. I was actually trained to use them. If I go into an empty parking lot and I move into a parking bay, often I will just indicate, even if there's nobody else there. So that's, we are talking about indicators and lane discipline. So get on to the sort of what I'd call the minor stuff that isn't necessarily going to be life-threatening if you ignore that advice. Obviously, drive on the other side of the road to the UK. The other thing is you can turn right most of the time on a red light, although some municipalities say no, you can't. So that's one thing you want to remember. So you could be sitting at a stop sign and it's red and somebody's honking behind you and you wonder why they're doing it. It's because you can turn right on a red light most of the time. The other thing is that now I've lost my train of thought thinking about red lights. The other thing about red lights, very important, is you don't always get this sort of warning amber light that lets you know that a red light's going to turn green. You could be sitting at a red light and suddenly, boom, it'll turn green. So that was a little bit of a surprise. So you've got to keep your wits about you. I think that's kind of the important stuff. I think the important thing to remember is where you are makes a lot of difference to how people drive. And Miami, South Florida, mid-Florida, where I am, it's a bit hairy on the roads. So you actually have to speed up a little bit and you have to drive a little bit more aggressively, I think. So anyway, that's all for now. I'm sure I missed lots of things, and I'm sure I've forgotten lots of things I was going to mention, but that's all I can do for now. So thanks for watching. If you like it. If you've got some comments, please make some comments. Thanks again, and bye-bye.